This video is going to explain what you need to do for lesson 27. So please make sure that you have already completed the activities for lesson 25 and 26, which basically gets you through question 5 of your split page notes. Today's objectives, you will be examining a deeper meaning of the allegory of the cave, and you will evaluate different mediums in presenting similar ideas. A medium is a way of doing something. So in our classroom, examples of mediums would be taking information and learning about it in a video form, a text form, an audio form, or a visual form. In this entire unit, you have learned to evaluate information and see and learn information in all of these different mediums. So we're going to do the same thing with today's allegory of a cave. What I'd like you to do right now is to stop this video and go to Google Classroom to answer the Google form question. It's titled Lesson 27 Review Questions. Before you move forward, you should be checking your understanding of the story as a whole before you push to work on it in a deeper understanding. So please stop this video now and answer that Google form. Now that you've answered the Google form, we're going to take Allegory of a Cave and look at it from a deeper perspective. So if you take your story and you go to page 11, you will see the last paragraph titled, "What would the liberated prisoner now prefer?" What I want you to do is to read that paragraph along as I read it aloud. It says, Socrates, do you think the one who had gotten out of the cave would still envy those within the cave and would want to compete with them who are esteemed and who have power? Or would not he or she much rather wish for the condition that Homer speaks of, namely, to live on the land above ground as the paid menial of another destitute peasant? Wouldn't he or she prefer to put up with absolutely anything else rather than associate with those opinions that hold in the cave and be the kind of human being? Glaucon, I think that he would prefer to endure everything rather than be that kind of human being. What I want you to focus on answering is that Plato writes this allegory to show how far our nature is enlightened or unenlightened. What you need to determine is the allegory enlightened or is it unenlightened? So how does Plato accomplish this purpose? What I want you to do is to open up your packet and answer that question. While considering answering that question, look at the following. The definition of enlightened means to give someone greater knowledge on something or to gain spiritual insights. The Latin root of liberated is liber, and the root of associate is soci. And the prefix as means to, up to, or toward. Plato wrote this allegory to show how far our nature is enlightened or enlightened. So, what does the idiom to see the light mean? Well, to enlighten someone is to give them a greater understanding or knowledge about what is being discussed. So, what would it mean to be unenlightened? Think about these things as you answer that question now. Please stop this video. Okay, this is a long one, so bear with me as I read this to you. But for those of you who may have struggled with understanding that quote, this is kind of what that question is asking you. Socrates is saying that when a man is freed, at first the glare of the light will be so bright that it will cause pain to his eyes and make him unable to see the reason why he had seen shadows before. Once the prisoner grows accustomed to seeing objects, he is less likely to be able to live in the dark any longer. You should understand that to accomplish his purpose, Plato sets up an extreme situation where some men are educated or informed while others are physically kept from knowing things. Plato describes the process of developing understanding that man would go through to move from being unenlightened to enlightened. So think about a baby being naive and unknowledgeable to growing into a man and growing educated and aware of the world and everything around him. Unenlightened to enlightened. Plato says that at first a man would resist going into that light because it would feel so surprising and wrong. When man leaves the cave, he is irritated by the sun because the light is so bright and he is unaccustomed to it. It is also starting to shine light on a whole world of things he has never seen and does not understand. He is not able to comprehend the realities that he sees at first. Slowly, though, man begins to see and understand. Over time, the man becomes more accustomed to the light and starts to see shadows, and then reflections, and then objects, and then the stars and the sun. When he sees the sun and his reflection in the water, he will start to understand that the sun shines light that creates shadows, and the sun and light is what makes shadows possible. The shadows aren't reality. The sun and the world are reality. Then the man would feel pity for the man in the cave, as they have no understanding about anything and believe the shadows are reality. If the man were to return to the cave to reveal all that he has seen, his exposure to the light would make it hard for him to see the shadows in the dark. So the other prisoners think he has lost knowledge and don't see the value of going outside the cave. As such, they would likely make fun of him and may even react violently to the suggestions that they leave the cave. Thus, Plato uses the story of the cave to illustrate the process of gaining knowledge and understanding that a person goes through. So what I'd like you to do is, if you struggled through that previous question or you felt you didn't fully understand it, take what this page has talked to you about and kind of paraphrase it, put it in your own words to show me that you have a better understanding. At this point, you have gone through reading the entire story, Allegory of the Cave, and we've worked to delve into a deeper understanding. So you need to stop this video and answer the final question, which is number 6 on your split page notebook. What is the hidden meaning of the Allegory of the Cave? It kind of talked about it in that previous slide that I was reading, so kind of take some of that information and put it in your own words. But remember, an allegory is a short story or poem that's interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning. So think about what it means about our acquisition of knowledge and how we gain it and how we start to understand the world in a different way.